Just doing a quick teardown on the Startech USB to IDE SATA standalone hard drive duplicator dock. So I've cheated a little and already took this one apart. 4 screws to remove the bottom plate, and there's 2 screws that hold on the circuit board. Also 2 more screws down these holes that hold down this external display. It does take a little bit of force to get this out because of how the display is attached. Since I've already tore it apart, it's a little bit easier. The display attaches to the front with some double-sided adhesive that's part of the front plastic cover for this whole plastic cover assembly, which is kind of nice, simplifies things. And there's just the 2 screw mounts. The display was in like this before I took it apart, basically. The heat sink had a nice, very strong spring steel clamp holding it down, plus some nice adhesive. Nothing too fancy on the board. This chip here is a SATA controller. This chip here is some SD-RAM memory. I believe 64 meg if I read the data sheet correctly. This chip here, which is kind of hard to tell what it is because it's covered in, I believe, is flux residue. But my guess is it's flash memory for booting. On the bottom side, there is 2 more controller chips made by A-Card, which I believe are also SATA/IDE controllers. Overall, the board is kind of dirty, which is surprising. A lot of flux residue and just, I don't know, unappealing stuff in general. Nothing too exciting though, like a lot of this stuff. There's a built-in buzzer, so obviously this thing must beep at you when it's doing stuff or when it's done. I've never used this personally. It didn't come with the power supply necessary. Also, I'm not sure why, but I just noticed this solder bridge right there, right on the edge of the chip. I assume there's a good reason for that. Hard to say. But let's get a better zoom on that. Kind of neat overall. The display is just plugged into using a standard little header. Just sits on like that. It's probably something a person could use for something else, I'm sure. If memory serves correct, these types of displays are usually a serial interface of some sort. I'm not sure where the controller chip is on this end, so obviously the blobs are where all the brains are for the display. And the buttons are just little tactile buttons that are interfaced through the case using these little plastic, I guess, pegs you could call them. So, yeah, hopefully this is something interesting. It's always neat to see what's inside of stuff, even if it is kind of boring. And I'm not the expert on electronics design by any means, so if I'm incorrect on any of this stuff, more welcome to correct me. But thanks for watching.